Welcome back to the Overt Thinking Podcast. Today, we're talking about supplements, but not just the what and the when, but also the wild story behind how they're regulated or not, and what that means for you. Plus, Kelsie is going to get a little bit passionate about this topic.
I am, because how many times have you been advertised a supplement with the hopes of it igniting all of your gains and your wildest dreams to come true? Well, we're diving in. Maybe your abandoned creatine bottle just might not be necessary.
But first, we'll play our
favorite little game
called This or That. I feel like we just took a massive lyrical turn. We just decided.
I think we got shy.
Yeah. I looked at you and you looked at me and we got a little shy. Okay, that's all right.
We sang twice on the podcast and we're like, no, we're never doing that again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe me.
At least everyone knows that we're tone deaf. And that's why we're here on a podcast and not on an EP.
Yes.
So first, fuck, marry, kill. Would you rather fuck, marry, kill a phone call, a text, or a voice memo? Kels? First thought?
I think phone call can fuck off. I guess that means I'm killing a phone call.
Killing a phone call.
Takes too long, too much effort. I really don't like audio messages, but I appreciate that Apple has gotten with the program and now gives me like a text version of an audio message.
Yeah.
Because I always forget about it. I'm like at work and I'm like, fuck, I don't have time to listen to this.
And Apple's giving you the AI summary for text now, too.
Yeah.
Which are also hilarious.
They are hilarious and often don't really make sense to what the actual text is.
And it actually makes me want to open the text more than I probably originally did.
Yeah. I think I'm going to marry a text because it's just like all reliable. I will fuck around with a voice memo and kill a phone call.
Love it.
What's yours?
I hate to be the person who's just going to say, me too. But honestly, I'm in such an efficiency tip right now that a phone call in the right scenario, actually, I would marry it. Because when I'm on the phone with customer service, I don't want to text back and forth.
Email the email.
No, I don't want. No, I'm like the boomer millennial. I want to phone call.
Yes.
Like, get me a human right away.
Yeah.
If I call
Press
health
0
insurance
immediately.
And you know what? My doctor is 9, and now I know the cheat codes. So you better believe I'm pressing 9. So yeah, I would fuck a voice memo, because I think that like when someone records a voice memo for you, it feels like you're hanging out with them to me.
Totally.
But I get to choose when I hang out with you, and boundaries are important, and we know that.
We know that.
So I'm going to fuck a voice memo. And then I'm going to marry.
This is a little confusing.
This is confusing. And I'm going to marry a text because that efficiency of quick hits here and there, amazing. Kill a phone call. If someone just blind phone calls me, I'm not going to answer. Not because I don't like you, but because how do you know that I have time for this call?
Right. Yeah.
However, there's one person in the world who's like, I'm just going to call you whenever. And that person has the green light. But everybody else, like, shoot me a text before you call me. Yeah.
But let's get into our topic for the day.
All right. So here's the topic. We're talking about supplements today, and we're going to frame this conversation by using a metaphor about a bus stop. And if diet and movement are like bus stop number 1 and 2 on your health journey, supplements are like number 5 or 6 or even like 10.
There's way more important things.
Yes, they're supportive. They're not foundational. All right, so I just wanted to make a quick comment and say that supplements is definitely the hardest thing to talk about on a public platform, because there's always going to be someone saying, no, this. So,
well, big pharma.
Yeah, and we understand that. We're not trying to sell you anything. We're really just asking you to take an extra pause and just get to the intentionality and have a little bit of nuance in how you make decisions, especially around your health. Because
we're asking you to ask questions.
Yes, and it is okay for you to not know the answer and for us to also not know the answer. Like, as a unit, as a collective, we want to learn together.
And to demand better for our society. Like, we shouldn't be denigrating pharmaceuticals that have been widely studied when supplements are out here like the wild fucking west.
Right. And a supplement like creatine that's been so heavily researched for so long, it might be researched just as long as a medication that gets released on the shelves. Like, those are the types of things we want you guys to seek out. Not like, should I take this or should I not? Like, probably defer to no until proven yes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And people just jump to supplements too early because they want that magic pill to solve their problems. And trust me, I get it, because time is of the essence. Like, if I have to spend 2 hours to get a result that I can get in 2 seconds, Like, yeah.
We would love to do that.
I would love to do that. I
would
seriously
love a
would
magic
love to have
pill.
this whole episode be about giving you the magic pill. But the reality is that we actually are going to coach you into how we think, the hierarchy of needs of how to work your way to supplementation should you even get to a place in your fitness journey where you need them.
Right. And the reason it takes so long, any fitness journey, is because you're not going to master them all at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to probably start with nutrition, dabble with like different foods that you've never had before, different methods of cooking. Then you start your exercise routine. Maybe those two are together. Then you consider, okay, let's add supplements, maybe things that you're not getting in your diet.
Right. And that's why nutrition is number one, right? Nutrition is number one because it's the thing that gets thrown off for the most of us. So if that's our foundation, we always know we can go back to that. And whatever we're going to buy a $70 supplement to solve is probably something we can take care of in bus stop number one or two or three. Right. So bus stop number one is nutrition. Balance with vegetables, lean protein, high quality grains, fruit. This is the foundation of everything that we do and everything that you would probably supplement for. Bus stop number two is consistent movement. And Kelsie and I were just talking about, I would make the argument that walking and getting consistent with just being an active person is bus stop number two. When you hear consistent movement, you think training program, resistance training, but really like just being a more generally active person, like not being afraid to park far away at the grocery store, taking the stairs instead of the elevator just because it's fun and you can.
Yeah, you're perfectly capable.
Yes. So that's bus stop number two. Bus stop number three, sleep and stress management. So once you've kind of got your handle on nutrition, you have a sense of what you should eat, you know that you've got like all the kind of pieces to the puzzle. Same thing with movement. Now we want to start tackling the kind of bookends of the day. How are you going to bed? How are you waking up from bed? And really refining those routines so that
that one is such a big deal. Like it is, sleep and managing stress is probably one of the hardest things for people to change. Mm-hmm. Like if you ask someone to put their phone down an hour before bed, they won't.
Yeah. No.
It's impossible.
I think that I could go on a big rabbit hole in this, but I think that people are searching for a couple more hits of dopamine before they go to bed.
Sure.
They want to know that they're safe enough to put their phone down and be able to go to sleep.
But then that stimulation keeps you wired, wakes you up at 2 a.m. because you're thinking about the state of the world, and then you woke.
And your last
now
thoughts
it's
were
6
like
a.m.
these shiny balls, and now you're trying to like go to bed when now you're thinking about the thing that this influencer, whoever created to keep your brain active.
Right.
I digress.
Anyway.
But bus stop number three is usually the stop that people get off and stay off. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not committed to your health and fitness journey, you can dial in your nutrition, you can follow macros, you can follow a training program. But all of a sudden, when we start talking about real stuff, like, yeah, maybe you do need to go to bed 30 minutes earlier.
Or maybe you do need to wake up your stress routine.
Yes. Or wake up 30 minutes earlier so you can see the sunrise, you can see the sunlight, and actually train your circadian rhythm that way. People don't find that to be as fun and sexy to talk about than macros. Bus stop number four is hydration and habits. Honestly, this one to me seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
But if you can make it past 3 and get to 4, baby, you are on smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Bus stop number 5, then we look at supplementation. If there are gaps that you need, or you've gotten labs done and things are off, or some sort of like chronic symptom keeps popping up, you should absolutely audit bus stop.
Or maybe you're vegetarian and you need additional supplementation like a whey protein, or maybe not whey protein in this scenario, but a pea protein or a plant protein or creatine, things like that. These are the things that we're going to get into today that might be helpful.
So, Kelsie.
You're waiting for me to get on my soapbox here.
I cannot wait for the soapbox that you guys are about to embark on with me. So we're going to first just go through the rapid fire stuff. We know that you thought this podcast was going to be, take this, don't take that. So we're going to give you a little bit of what you want.
We're going to give you a taste of the supplements that we would recommend if you have the budget for it. If you feel good about it and you want to do it, these are the things that we want you to focus on.
So, most worth it supplements for the general population. We just talked about a protein powder. I mean, it is always good to have a protein powder on hand when you travel, during like crazy chaotic weeks, because it's a plan B, but that's exactly what it is. It's actually like a plan F, really. But having protein powder on hand, great to have just to bump up your protein.
And most people are, low in the protein intake. It is one of the harder macronutrients to get. So have one on hand, whether it's plant or whey or whatever. Keep it around.
And while it's not as satiating as chewing and eating real animal protein or food protein sources, it's still, good to have on hand.
Yep.
Number 2, creatine. This is the most researched performance supplement. There are systematic reviews all the way back, and we both take creatine consistently.
I don't. I buy it consistently. I don't take it consistently.
Let's talk about it then.
That deserves its whole episode, but okay. I am totally not a good fit for supplements because I'm not consistent with them.
All right, I take creatine every single day. There's been some research that's come out recently that also speaks to the cognitive benefits of taking creatine, which, as somebody who's struggled with ADHD their whole life, that put me down for that, especially if I'm already taking it for my performance. Why not try? And then the last one, which you guys might be surprised that this is a short list, but the last one is caffeine, and you can literally get this from coffee.
Just drink coffee.
And coffee is
green tea.
Pretty freaking cheap.
Yep.
However, if you want some fancy pre-workout, whatever, again, these are decisions that you can make, but if you're going to spend money on supplements, we think you should spend money on protein powder, creatine, and maybe a caffeine supplement or coffee or pre-workout.
Yep.
So Kelsie, what supplements are the most overrated or the least helpful to the general population?
This is a question for the both of us. I want your input too, but my things that irk me the most are fucking greens powders and collagen for sure. Those are my 2 shit list items because people think greens powders, I'm getting my fruits and vegetables. No, they're not. This is not a replacement for your fruits and vegetables. Eat your fucking fruits and vegetables like a real adult. And I feel very passionate about this. If you think they help and you're going to continue to eat your fruits and vegetables alongside your greens powders, all right, fine, I suppose. But I still don't really support those at all to any degree. Also, collagen. Just have a whey protein. Your collagen is basically just another protein source without all of the essential amino acids that you need.
It's just not as bioavailable as whey. And if you can tolerate whey, great.
And I don't think collagen is as shelf stable as a whey protein is.
I'm actually not sure about that, but
I think I've heard that. We'll fact check that.
But collagen also they talk about the hair, skin, nails benefit. Sure, if
this is marketing at its finest,
right?
Though.
If the hair, skin, and nails is something that's really gonna make you take a supplement and you're gonna bump up your protein because of it, even though it's not the best, the most bioavailable, or the highest quality supplement, okay,
right?
Spend your hard-earned money if you want to,
sure.
But collagen's kind of just mid.
It's a lesser whey protein.
Yeah, and if you can't have whey or dairy, I'll send you my favorite plant protein, and
also. All of the supplements, there is no way to guarantee what's in it and what it's contaminated with, which we'll get to that in a moment. I'm just slowly stepping up on my soapbox here. But that's going to be my ramble today is all the regulations or not that go into these things. And
the worst offender, BCAAs.
Yeah.
That is, there is no bigger marketing tool for a supplement industry than something that they can literally prove nothing about. It's
expensive Gatorade.
They're branched chain amino acids. No, they're 3 of the 9 essential amino acids that you can actually bioavailable create in a supplement are in BCAAs. So like you said, glorified Gatorade, and definitely not something that you should be spending your money on because if you are going to take a pre-workout supplement, chances are those 3 to 5 essential amino acids that you can actually get from supplements will be in there. And Kels, I can literally see you getting up out of your seat. I can see the soapbox being pulled out.
I'm ready.
She's like a bull getting ready to get let out of the cage. So, Kels, can I ask you, are you ready for the soapbox?
Are you ready? Okay, let's
ready.
Do it.
Let's go.
So we know that, maybe we know this. There's no real regulations around the supplement industry in the same way that we think about vaccines or pharmaceutical drugs. Those things we know are rigorously tested. But supplements don't have the same standards. The primary regulations for supplements are going to be Current Good Manufacturing Practices, or CGMPs. And this is basically just a set of rules that supplement manufacturers are supposed to follow Emphasis on supposed to. There are federal guidelines that the FDA put in place to make sure that the supplements you're taking are actually what they say they are. So, for example, if a protein powder says 25 grams, it should be 25 grams of protein.
In the scoop, like in the serving size.
Per serving size, yep. The rules were officially established in 2007, which is crazy considering how long people have been taking supplements. CGMPs were a response to growing concerns over the lack of regulation. So like the FDA didn't just wake up and think like, let's check up on protein. No, the turning point was following what we previously talked about in another episode, the DSHEA, which is the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, which was put in place in 1994. This is a law that basically defined what a dietary supplement was and said the FDA cannot approve before they hit the market in the same way that prescription medications can. So we know that prescription medications require rigorous research and trials before even being tested in humans. Isn't
that crazy though? Can we just take a pause? That the medications that you're taking and the supplements you're taking do not have the same level of like standards.
Like you can just get it at Walmart and you're like, I trust this.
I can just go get a pro hormone off the shelf.
Bob down the street is like opening his fucking trench coat. He's like, you want some supplements? Meanwhile, people are afraid of pharmaceutical drugs. Like everything has risk.
Like your mom can walk into GNC and get a testosterone booster.
Or an estrogen supplement.
And have no idea. Is it working? Is it not working?
Is it not?
Is it actually not working and just doing other stuff that's making me feel like crap?
Right. Yep.
We have no idea.
We'll get into like other cases that companies have been.
The FDA only tests them after they're on the market.
If people submit claims. But
crazy.
So going back to prescription medications, because I think this is important, right? Like in drug development, there's 5 steps. On average, it takes 10 years for a drug to go from phase 1 trials to regulatory approval, meaning it's available to consumers. 10 years on average. And some might ask, well, how did the COVID vaccine, market so quick? Well, it wasn't a new technology. Researchers and scientists have been working on the mRNA vaccine or technology for a while. So it wasn't rushed or it was accelerated due to a couple factors. One, money not being an object. Every single country had something at stake. Everyone was losing lives. There's a huge burden. So many trials were ran at the same time. We had a global collaboration. The mRNA technology was already developed previously, and they built on work that they had already previously done. Finally, regulatory agencies fast-tracked because of the international emergency. So TLDR, the science was always solid and the money was there.
So it sounds like the money was there, the time was there, the right people were in place, but something changed. They didn't take the full leap and actually test supplements before they were on the market or go through the same processing.
Yeah, so I definitely digressed there a little bit, but I thought it was important to compare the two and why we shouldn't be as afraid of pharmaceuticals like we should be afraid of supplements. Maybe not afraid of supplements, that might be a little fear-mongering, but more diligent about our supplement selection. So anyway, CGMPs, basically FDI wasn't allowed to pre-approve supplements before market. This was due to lobbying from supplement companies because in the 90s, supplements blew up, right? Like we had companies that were making a lot of money. The FDA started cracking down and big companies said, hell nah, I'm gonna get that bag because I'm already making a bunch of money. Why am I gonna give it up just so you can regulate my supplements? Like I'm making a bunch of money.
And then take money away from me.
Right. Exactly. So enter massive lobbying efforts from companies, trade organizations, and even celebrities. Mm-hmm. People like Mel Gibson and Suzanne Summers touted that the FDA was coming for their supplements, even though they likely had something at stake. So if you remember in the misinformation episode, we want to follow the money back. Who is saying the person that's saying something? Are they getting paid? Do they have incentives? Follow the money, right? Like we always want to look at that first. So this lobbying was framed as a freedom issue. So after this big push, it basically came down to FDA, you can't regulate supplements pre-market, but you can monitor after they're out if they're proven unsafe. This requires someone getting sick, making a claim, and following it through.
not just waking up and being like, man, that makes me feel really nauseous. Like, they have to feel so bad that they have to source where to find a claim, first of all, and then go do it, which, like, that's a lot of time.
This reminds me of like a whole TikTok trend that happened recently. Like, girls were taking beehive pollen or some shit, trying to like make their boobs bigger. Don't fucking do that, by the way.
Yeah, stop getting your supplement and health and fitness advice from TikTok and Netflix.
No, honestly. But like, girls were getting sick. They were landing in the hospital because of this bee pollen whatever shit. Anyway, I digress again. So we're fasting forward, and the issue started growing. Products were contaminated. Some ingredients were way more than the actual listing, and some were even laced with actual drugs. Like you said, some had pro-hormones.
Jack 3D had amphetamines in it.
Dude, it's
and
crazy.
Your mom was going to the GNC thinking, I'm going to get something to help my workout.
Right. Remember
and she's taking amphetamines?
Ephedrine? Like, this is off the market because the FDA stepped in. It's not because they were like, oh, you're seeing too good of results, like we're going to take it.
Or like Sudafed. People use Sudafed to make meth.
Right, exactly. So all of these things are why we need regulations around supplements, but we don't yet. Hopefully we can get there one day. But basically, consumers started advocating and enter the CGMPs. Basically, we have to make sure they're being made safely. So it covers things of how ingredients are sourced, facility hygiene, and contamination and mislabeling. But here's the kicker. Just because CGMPs exist doesn't mean every company follows them. This is why third-party testing is a big deal, which I am a little cautious on that too, because people will use this as a marketing ploy. Like, there's so many companies that say we're third-party tested. Doesn't really mean anything anymore.
What third-party tested really means is that the company is publicly saying we hire another company to come in and validate the quality of our product.
And they're saying we value the CGMP process. We are going to make it known to our consumers. Do with that what you will. Do you trust them? I don't know. I guess that's up to you.
It's saying that they know the process, but it's not saying necessarily that they're following it.
Yeah.
But what if they say they're third-party tested?
Same thing.
It just says, so it could be a lie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because there's no regulations.
That's good for us to know.
This is like as good of a regulation as we have in this moment. So anyway, we wanted to talk about a famous scandal. You mentioned Jack 3D. There was a famous scandal in 2009 from bodybuilding.com. Everyone should know that company, right? That's one of the most pervasive companies in the fitness space. Yeah. So bodybuilding.com started selling products that contained pro-hormones or steroid analogs. So without being listed, and they caused hormone issues, liver damage, and people failed their drug tests. So if you think of like military or like powerlifting competitions or CrossFit, firefighters, anyone that has a federal job where you're not allowed.
Athletes, D1 athletes,
any
pro
athletes, yes.
Yep.
So if you're taking a supplement, a whey protein from bodybuilding.com in 2009, you're thinking like no big deal, and then you get banned from your sport, you're going to be distraught.
Or your job.
You get
right? Banned for your job and you had to stop smoking weed for weeks and weeks because you had this drug test and you're just taking some supplement to make your workout better, and all of a sudden you lose your job.
Yeah. Anyway. So it was a big issue, and like the federal agents full on seized the inventory from bodybuilding.com, and that CEO ended up paying like millions of dollars and pleaded guilty. So crazy times.
Well, we love when people get named guilty for things they're actually doing wrong.
And they get their comeuppance. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm done with my soapbox.
We loved that, didn't we? That was epic. Kelsie just pontificated everything.
Ooh, pontificated.
Yes. Okay, so here are a list of brands that do have the NSF certification. Again, we highly suggest to look at each one of the supplements that you're taking, cross-reference it. There's even a website called examine.com that you can run some of these
consumer reports, probably even better.
Consumer reports.
NSF also has like a search bar link on their website.
But here are the top hits. So Thorne, Pure Encapsulations. Also, if you are military or first responder, you get 50% discount on Pure Encapsulations with your thing. Momentous, Clean Athlete with a K, Clean Athlete. And then there's a couple other ones. Those are the top 4 that I typically bias towards. We will include a list of the supplements that we mentioned that are worth considering taking with the corresponding link to buy them on Amazon or from the website.
So I think the main message from the whole podcast is Nothing is going to replace a good balanced diet that includes whole, nutritious, lean proteins, grains, vegetables, whatever, and good programming and exercise.
Right. And if we take it back to the bus stop, right, let's start dialing in step 1 through 4 so that we can really get ourselves into a place where we can make we're not even at the point where we should even decide if we can take supplements if you haven't figured out those things yet.
If you're not mastering the basics, you need to work on the wheels of the bus before you get on the bus. Make sure your bus is fucking equipped with wheels first, okay? So why don't you tell us what supplements people can ditch in favor of lifestyle habits?
This is like one of my favorite things to talk about. I love saving people money and time.
I love de-influencing people. I'm like, you don't need that. Nope, you don't need that.
Yeah, we're fitness de-influencers.
I love it.
I love it. So a very classic one, vitamin D. It's very common for people to get labs back and see like their vitamin D is like a little low, especially during the colder months. So a simple swap is full body sun for 15 to 30 minutes when the sun's the highest in the sky. If you live somewhere where it's not sunny.
Yeah, what if you live in Seattle?
I still want you getting outside because the rays can still break through.
If you live in Seattle, you could eat a portion of oysters.
Yep.
You could eat any seafood, really,
Yep.
and get a whopping vitamin D serving.
And that actually, oysters have zinc too, which will help you stay healthy and not get sick, boost your immune system. So vitamin D, like even during the winter months, if you're somewhere where it lives, it's like absolutely barren cold. Yeah, you probably should first get labs done and see where your vitamin D levels are first, and then potentially you're a candidate to supplement. But if you're someone where it's like decently light and pretty sunny, go get outside, even if it's not super sunny out. 3 to 4 times a week is like a full dose of vitamin D. Melatonin. Do you really need melatonin to sleep? Your body will fall asleep.
Sometimes I
eventually.
do. Sometimes I need it.
But the carriage before the horse is that you're scrolling on your phone all night, you're not setting a bedtime routine or not setting a boundary with yourself about how to turn that freaking phone off and put that phone to bed before you put yourself to bed.
Yeah, read a book instead.
Melatonin also, there's like 10 milligram gummies out there.
People
that
do
could
too
put out a
much.
bear. Like
Yeah.
if you think you need a supplement with melatonin, and you know what? You might.
Start with 2.
Start with 2 milligrams, not 10 extra strength bullshit. I have gone down that rabbit hole before. You really don't need it. You may think you do, but you don't. It doesn't work like that. So what you can try instead is light exposure in the morning to watch the sunrise, sunset. That optimizes your circadian rhythm. Another thing is what we talked about, minimizing artificial light 1 hour before bed. The short waves of the blue light keeps your brain active. So yes, you can wear blue blockers and that works in theory, but also if you have overhead
Even if it's
light.
placebo. Like I wear blue blockers at night. I don't think there's a lot of research to support that, but placebo brain is like, this works.
So then
I sleep better when I wear them.
I actually sleep better when I wear my blue blockers and don't take melatonin. I feel like so groggy when I take it. And then multivitamin, it's kind of like the BCAAs. It's like companies are going to put out a multivitamin and just say like, we think that you should have this. It's a magic pill. It has everything you need in it. It probably has a bunch of
probably
decent
has fine
stuff,
things that you're just going to pee out.
but probably shit that you're already eating and like you said, going to pee out.
You're going to pee it out.
Last one is iron. Again, like unless you are someone who is diagnosed deficient, iron deficient, or has super heavy menstruation, where like to the point that you get like lightheaded and have symptomatic periods, iron, like you can literally get that from eating grass-fed meat 1 or 2 times a week.
Any singular nutrient is fool's gold. Like you don't need singular ingredients in micronutrients in isolation. You need a whole inclusive diet. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Yeah, so vitamin D, melatonin, multivitamin, iron, if you're taking those, or even vitamin C.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't supplement with vitamin C. Go eat an orange.
Yeah, honestly. Like, you're not a pirate. You're not going to get scurvy. You get plenty of vitamin C in a regular diet, even if you're eating out every single day.
And even if you hate vegetables, I would highly suggest not buying a greens powder and still just doing your due diligence in trying to make veggies a little tasty. Like I tell my clients to aim for close to 10 different colors per week, which is like 1 or 2 per day. It's fun. Go to the farmer's market, like go to the produce section, just like look around and be like, I've never had a dragon fruit before. Just go grab it.
Dragon fruit's one of the most overrated fucking fruits I've ever seen. It's so beautiful and so bland.
I can't.
You ever had one?
Maybe, and that's why I can't remember because it's so unmemorable.
Exactly. But I'll give you some like anecdotal experience here. Like, I was the person from the Midwest, didn't really ever eat a vegetable my entire life until I was like 25. I started incorporating more vegetables into my routine with a smoothie. I was like, I hate spinach. I added it to a smoothie with some strawberries and half avocado and some protein powder, a little bit of milk or water. Boom. Got at least 2 servings of fruits and vegetables.
Even better when it's frozen. I feel like for whatever reason, this could be totally not true, but every time I put like frozen veggies in my smoothie, I taste it even less.
Yeah, agreed.
And honestly, just fats. Fats make all things taste better. If you saute any vegetable with a little bit of like coconut oil or avocado oil with some seasonings, like it's gonna taste better. So allocate your fats around your higher like veggie things that you prep.
Yep. So the takeaways are supplements can be helpful, but they're not going to fix your shit. 2, trustworthy supplements are going to say that they have an NSF certification. They follow CGMPs. Don't waste your money on powders when the basics aren't nailed down yet. So ignore your greens powder, ignore your creatine, even though it's one of the most widely studied supplements. Ignore that. Focus on getting some protein into your freaking day first. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And then be skeptical. Read the label, know what CGMPs are, and if you've listened to this entire episode, hopefully you have a little more insight there.
But I really do think it comes down to intentionality. If you are taking supplements because you don't think you have time to sit back and figure out where to get all these minerals and these nutrients for your cells, then that's probably a time to hire a coach or just like allocate some time to like deciding how you're going to fuel your body and creating opportunities for yourself to try new different foods and, you know, keep variety in your diet. And I do think that most people can get away with maybe throwing out $200 worth of supplements like right now and just adding in a couple of these things that are either lifestyle or nutrition behaviors that are changing.
And everything can feel overwhelming when you feel like your whole entire life is not how you want it, right? Like if you're not exercising, you're not eating the way that you should, it can feel really overwhelming to take this on. So it's okay to ask for help. If you have a friend, even if you can't afford to hire a coach right now, if you have a friend that is doing what you want, like ask them, go to Reddit. Reddit is a great resource. We have pretty big Instagrams that we put out a lot of like useful, tangible content all the time. There's so much resources out there for you. So try not to get lost in the sauce. Don't miss the forest for the trees. And
I think that overall, like hearing your soapbox today was definitely the highlight of my day. I definitely learned a couple new things and I hope you guys did too.
So slide into our DMs if you want us to audit your supplement shelf or tell us your worst supplement impulse buy. We won't judge, even if you've gone down that bee pollen rabbit hole.
And even if you're sipping AG1 greens right now,
God.
we don't hate you for it. We get it.
If that makes you feel better, okay, but there's other ways.
We're just saying that you could spend that $70 on like a cute workout set instead. So
anyway,
share this episode with someone who swears by their $80 greens powder and has cured all of their problems. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.